What is sophomore year actually like? You're about to find out. It's Stella. Welcome back. Okay, no, I've not been on here in a while. I just took a little bit of a hiatus. I'm back now, do not worry. I decided to switch up the setting a little bit for this girl talk. I'm waiting to film this. Okay, let's do this. First, a major thing I want to talk about is that things are going to change. Obviously, it's not a transition from underclassmen to upperclassmen. For me personally, I thought that mentally it was still a big transition going from freshman to sophomore. Okay, guys, when people talk about the sophomore slump, it is so real. Literally this winter, oh my gosh, crazy. I was literally giving up on life. What really got me through this year is the advice that my mom gave me. Takes you, wait, what is it? Wait, okay. It's not gonna matter in the next 5 years. Don't spend more than 5 minutes worrying about it. And that's actually in the back of my brain all the time. Because I am a chronic worrier. Literally just how my brain is wired. Oh my gosh, highly recommend taking fun classes, you guys. Because in freshman year, you had to take the classes you were required to take. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, they were boring and kind of pointless. Hold on, lip gloss break. But each year as you go up, when you're picking your classes, you can start choosing more fun ones. And I highly recommend experimenting with classes. Don't take the same classes as your friend just because they're your friend. Because it's gonna end up being something you're totally not interested in and you're stuck doing all this homework for a class just because you wanted to take it with your best friend. And thinking ahead and taking classes that are gonna go for what you're gonna be interested in the future. And even some like just random classes. I started taking sociology halfway through sophomore year and I love it. I think it's super interesting. I definitely recommend experimenting with classes. Okay, next topic, friends and drama. Okay, one of the biggest things I've taken from friendships in my sophomore year is to have different types of friendships. And I'm not in any way saying the most popular, have the most friends, have the biggest friend group. No. I meet some friends from other schools. Try and get outside of the friend group you had in your freshman year and experiment. Because the more people you meet, the more you're gonna figure out what qualities you're actually looking for in a real friend. Talk to people that you've never talked to before because YOLO. Gosh, this was a hard pill to swallow for me. You're gonna have to go through bad friendships to find the good ones. You're gonna have to. I hate to say it, but you're going to have to go through fake friends. You're gonna have to go through friends that are stubborn and hard to get along with sometimes. Talk before break. Things are different in high school than they were in junior high and elementary, and people are different. People fall into the right crowd and people fall into the wrong crowd, and stuff like that changes really fast, and sometimes you'll have to lose a friend to do what's best for yourself. Don't compare yourself, okay? Actually, specifically in sophomore year, I found myself more inclined to be like, he wears these name brand clothes and I wear these thrifted clothes. It does not matter as long as you are you. I promise you're like, your life is your life. Your life is not Billy's life. Life is not Sally's life. It's your life. Put good energy into it and choose what you want to do with it. Oh, drama. For me personally, I thought that I had more drama in freshman year than sophomore year. I'd say there's still drama, it's just different. It'll be like silent beef. Boys, obviously, dating's gonna get more serious. The more mature you are, the less drama you're gonna be involved in. If you're involved in a lot of drama, you better watch yourself. Distance is a good way to keep yourself out of drama. If you can kind of feel like silent beef happening, distance yourself. Put yourself away, get yourself out of the situation. That's the only way you're not gonna be involved in it. You have to take yourself out of drama because nobody else is. And this does not just go for other people's drama, this also goes for your own drama. To be completely honest, I have had to learn to watch my mouth this year because you don't know who's listening. You might think you're telling your best friend, but go off and they tell Jimmy exactly what you just told them. And it's like, honey, you can't really trust anybody here. Yeah, you might not think you're being in the drama, but you actually are. The thing that kind of goes along with that is think before you speak. And I know you've literally heard that since you were like 5 years old. Think before you speak because your actions have consequences. They do. The thing that kind of ties into the advice my mom gave me was like, in a year or many years from now, will the drama even matter? This fight over a dusty, chopped boy gonna matter in the next 4 years when you're in college and you have totally different friends and you have a loving boyfriend that cares for you? It's not gonna matter. He's not gonna matter. Okay, another topic that ties into like drama and friendships is peer pressure. I had to bring it up because it happens. I just think the movies are lying. Like, nobody drinks in high school, nobody smokes, nobody does drugs. Oh, how wrong was that? Because yes, they do. I've heard so many stories of good friends of mine drinking underage, smoking, vaping, doing all this stuff that they're not supposed to do. I can't hate them because they're my friend. Some people are gonna do stuff like that that you don't expect from them. You have to learn that, like, what would God do? Like, God forgives all people. You have to realize that just because you don't do it and other people do it doesn't mean that they're the worst person in the world. And it doesn't mean you have to hate them for it. You can make your opinion known. You have the right to say, I don't like what you're doing, please don't do it around me. But no matter how hard you try, you cannot change that person. They are the only ones that can change themselves. Also, can we talk about the way the UV was 9 today? I'm inside because I don't want to get fried, actually. Yesterday, short story, I went to the beach. I didn't really realize that the UV was so high and I didn't put any sunscreen on because I couldn't find any. And I come home and I'm like, why does my back hurt so bad? Because it was burned to a crisp. But luckily my sunburns go away over tonight. Like, not really that bad. It was bad last night, like nightmare material. Like, anyways, back to what I was saying. I feel like nobody talks about how that temptation is real. Do things that you're not supposed to do. Never drank underage, I've never done drugs, and I've never vaped. thing that prevents me from that temptation is self-control. You have to have self-control in high school. It's gonna help you so much more in the long run, and it makes you feel so accomplished. Being able to think to yourself, people have offered me to do this stuff, but I don't, because I respect myself and I have self-control. So, period. But I completely understand if you can fall into that temptation, because I can completely understand if a friend you trust offers you a drink and you decide to drink it. I completely understand because you trust that friend. You think nothing's gonna happen. Sometimes things do happen. But if you're under the influence of drugs or alcohol, please, please, please tell your parents, or please tell a trusted person that is not intoxicated. It doesn't even have to be your parents, but please call somebody. You need to drive somewhere, don't think you can drive yourself. Even if you're only a little tipsy and you might be able to drive yourself home, don't do it. You are putting your own life at risk. I don't want to say worse than that. It kind of is worse than that. Putting other innocent, vulnerable people in a terrible situation, that's all gonna trace back to you. And could have just made a simple call to your parents, been like, hey mom, I've been drinking a little bit and I don't think I can drive home. Please take me home. Your parents and your friends who love you so much rather get you in trouble and know that you've been drinking and seeing you, I'm not trying to be dark and be the most negative person ever. It's true, and you gotta think about your future. If you're drinking, no phones, no car keys, no pictures. I've had people at my school who get in trouble for underage drinking and they literally can't play sports. It stays on your legal record and it affects your life in the future. So be smart, think before you act.